A fragile butterfly flutters through the street, its delicate wings shimmering in the soft glow of the street lamp. Beneath the lamplight, a boy slouches against the wall, his friends clustered around him, each of them sensing the weight of the moment. In his hand, he clutches a crumpled piece of paper, his exam results. The harsh truth is laid bare on the paper. He has failed. As he stares at the grades, a fragile butterfly delicately settles on the paper. A surge of blind rage over his failure takes hold, and with a sharp motion, he swats at it, the delicate creature crumpling under his hand. He walks away, guilt gnawing at his insides, but his frustration clings to him, refusing to let go. At the market, he finds his mother at her small shop, surrounded by fish, vegetables, and fruits. Without a second thought, he passes her the doctored exam results. She looks at them, her face lighting up with uncontainable pride. "You've done so well, my son," she exclaims, completely unaware of the lie. The pungent smell of fish clings to her, and though it disgusts him, he swallows his distaste in silence, his heart heavy with the weight of his deception. With a warm smile, his mother gently asks, "Son, are you hungry?" She lovingly sets the table, placing a bowl of rice, veggies, and fish before him. As they eat, he suddenly puts his chopsticks down, his voice uneasy as he asks her for money, claiming it's for school books. "How much do you need?" she asks, her concern evident. Without hesitation, he responds, "About 10,000 won." She smiles softly, replying, 10,000 won. Don't worry about it. She reaches into her pocket, pulling out a bill, her trust shining through. "Take it," she says, completely unaware of the lie he's told. As he walks away from their modest home, a heavy feeling of guilt settles in as he reflects on his mother's unwavering devotion. She must have wanted to give me everything. If only my score on the entrance exam had been higher, maybe then I wouldn't feel this weight of guilt about my mother, he thinks, the weight of his own disappointment pressing down on him. Outside, he watches an actor being interviewed on TV, a sharp pang of jealousy tightening his chest. The actor's life of fame, luxury, and glory stirs something deep within him, fueling his own longing for something more. In that moment, filled with a mix of envy and ambition, he makes a silent promise to himself. He will become an actor. His score on the entrance exam was less than stellar, but he still managed to enter the theater and cinema department at the university. There, his teachers gave him a couple of C-type scripts and asked him to animate the underlined lines in them. It was a short line, but as our protagonist began to read, the dark intrigue of the murder mystery immediately pulled him in. He unknowingly started to align himself with the character, a cold, calculated person with everything planned out, his sarcasm cutting through the air. Killing people comes as naturally to him as eating. He's someone without hesitation, he thought. As he finished reading, his determination to become a famous actor intensified, his mind clearer than ever on his path forward. In the early days of his career, working as a rookie actor, the director's voice rang out, "Rookies, get ready!" "Okay," they responded, and our protagonist was one of them. Despite his tireless hard work and dedication, the people around him couldn't hide their constant complaints. During shooting, it was clear they felt uncomfortable working with the oldest rookie on set. His talent, when compared to the other actors of his time, seemed as weak as a firefly's glow, flickering and dim. Yet despite the harsh judgments and his own growing insecurities, he refused to give up, clinging to the hope that one day his light would shine brighter. Years passed, and our protagonist continued to struggle as an actor. One evening after a long shoot, he was exhausted and hungry. Deciding to skip a meal, he drank water from a nearby fountain, eager to rush to his next location. Just as he was drinking, his phone rang. He glanced at the caller ID. It was his mother. Muttering under his breath, he chose to ignore her call, a familiar pang of guilt stirring within him. Suddenly, someone called his name from behind. He turned quickly, his heart skipping a beat. Standing before him was one of the directors in the industry. The director offered him a role as a supporting character in a drama. Without a second thought, overwhelmed by the rare opportunity, our protagonist blurted out, "Yes, yes!" His heart raced as the possibility of change finally seemed within reach. No matter the size of the role, whether in a TV series or a movie, and even if the character met a tragic end, our protagonist played it. Yet, despite his tireless dedication, he remained an unrecognized actor, always anxious about his financial survival. To make ends meet, he worked part-time jobs alongside his acting career. One day, during a break at one of his jobs, while he was memorizing his script, his nose suddenly began to bleed. His co-workers, worried, urged him to leave early. But he refused to let go of his dream. Driven by an obsession with acting, he kept singing his lines between shifts, desperate to learn them faster. His relentless pursuit of his dream led others to label him crazy man, unable to understand the depths of his passion and sacrifice. After years of relentless dedication, his hard work finally bore fruit. Our protagonist stood on that stage, holding his first award, the Best Supporting Actor of the Year. As he clutched the trophy in front of the microphone, he thanked his supervisors and representatives, his voice filled with sincere gratitude. A contented smile tugged at the corners of his mouth, a quiet reflection of the joy and pride that had eluded him for so long. One day, while gazing at the beautiful scenery from his apartment window, our protagonist felt as though the weight of poverty had finally been lifted from his life. For the first time, he allowed himself to relax in the peace of his success. But just as he was deep in thought, his phone rang. It was his mother. Reluctantly, he answered, his voice sharp with tension. "Ah, what is it?" Longing to see her son, his mother asked, "Son, do you want me to come see you?" Desperate to leave behind his past struggles, he spoke through gritted teeth. "It's okay. Don't come, Mom." Though his words may have sounded comforting, his thoughts were filled with conflict, torn between his ambition and the love he couldn't fully embrace. As our protagonist had once dreamed, back when he made the decision to become an actor after watching an inspiring interview on TV, years of hard work had finally paid off. His life had changed. He now owned a luxurious house with a breathtaking view of the river. He had become a famous actor, standing firmly in the spotlight, far from the hardships of the life he once knew. After receiving countless awards, our protagonist walked off the stage thinking, "My life is not boring, at least for now." Amidst the congratulations, his phone rang with an unknown number with tragic news. The heartbreaking news about his mother's illness changed everything. In a panic, he rushed to the hospital. When he arrived, he called out her name. The sight of his frail, aged mother, whose hands trembled as she reached for his face, left him stunned. Holding her fragile hand, he cried out, "Mom!" Tears poured down his face, and he realized it wasn't her he wanted to escape, but the poverty they had once shared. Despite his desperation, it was too late. She had passed away. After his mother's passing, the protagonist was consumed by darkness, drowning in regret. Addicted to substances, he was haunted by the fact that he never visited her when she needed him, and even after her death, he failed to say goodbye. Overcome by guilt, he finally decided to end it all. On the verge of his final moments, the protagonist believed he would end it all and fall into hell. But then, in the silence of his mind, a voice echoed, his mother's, calling him son and urging him to eat. He thought it must be a dream, the devotion of a mother who had given everything for him. The warmth of her presence was more noble than all his past achievements. But the sensations were too vivid to be a dream. The outdated wallpaper, the musty smell, and the taste of freshly cooked rice. As he ate, he heard her voice again. "Son?" Worry in her tone. He looked up, and there she was, his mother, sitting in front of him with a concerned expression. Tears filled his eyes. "Mom," he whispered, trembling. Finally, he understood. He had returned to that moment in his childhood, to a time when life was simpler, when he had everything he needed. He realized his pride and ambition had led him astray, taking him far from the love and security his mother had always given him. That's all for today's video. If you've made it to the end and enjoyed it, don't forget to like, comment, and hit that subscribe button. I'd love to hear your feedback. See you in the next video.